The air was hot, and the mosquitoes were brutal along the Canadian River. Connor Thomas lived alone in a dugout carved into the bank with his own hands. Still young, unaware of flash floods, he only needed a place to sleep. Labor paid his way, for food, for money, or for trade. Connor was quiet and a hard worker, compensating for his lack of skills. He watched men closely, noticing how their character shifted depending on who stood beside them. This particular evening, the heat still clung to him as he returned from work. His stomach ached with hunger, and his head throbbed with anger. Mr. Johnson had gambled away everyone's wages in a card game and casually said he was good for it. Connor didn't believe him. Good for it didn't put soup in the pot. He lowered himself onto the packed dirt floor of the dugout, his back against the earthen wall. The place held the day's heat. Sweat dried stiff on his shirt. He pulled his knees up and rested his arms across them, staring at nothing. Hunger always brought it back. The memories always lingered. He had been 8 when his mother was taken, old enough to remember her voice clearly, young enough to believe the men who said she would be back. That made him 16 now, old enough to work, to be blamed when things went wrong, and to be paid in promises. Young enough that men like Mr. Johnson still thought of him as someone who wouldn't fight back. He remembered the evening she disappeared. The sky had been blue with copper. His mother had stood at the edge of the wagon train, dust clinging to her skirt, her hair loose from its pins. "Connor," she said, smiling, the way she did when she wanted him to listen, "stay close tonight." They were crossing open country when it happened. No warning, no shouting at first. Just movement, riders appearing over the ledge. Men jumped from their wagons, finding positions. Guns were raised. A woman screamed. Connor remembered being yanked backward by his collar, the sudden strength of his father's grip. He remembered his mother turning once, just once, before the horse crowded her from view. His father screamed her name. That was the last clear image he had of her. The men talked afterward. Someone said it was a trap, that they wanted the men to follow. Wayne Thomas didn't answer. He stared towards the dark, where the land had swallowed her. "Julie is my wife," he said. They told him he didn't know the area, that it was getting dark. At dawn, he saddled a horse. He returned alone. After that, Wayne stopped speaking of her. At first, Wayne tried to hold things together. He raised a small plank cabin near the riverbank. He found work where he could, cut sod, offered his labor. In the evenings, he told Connor stories, though they wandered and ended nowhere. Weeks turned to months. Wayne began drinking earlier in the day, then through the day, then before Connor woke. The first time Wayne struck him, he broke afterward. Not Connor, but Wayne. He sank onto the bed, staring at the floor, his words scattered. "I don't know how to do this," he said. "I don't know how to do it alone." After that, the apology stopped. Connor left the night the whiskey bottle shattered against the wall, inches from his head. He didn't pack. He just walked. He found a place along the river and never went much farther. It became the place he returned to. Years later, he understood some men were worse than others. Connor wasn't going to lose the money Mr. Johnson owed him. Walking the long, dusty road toward the house, he formed a plan. Mrs. Johnson was setting flower bed borders when he spoke with her. When Mr. Johnson saw them together, he hurried over to manage the conversation. She commented on how much Connor enjoyed working there. Connor smiled. He said he was grateful for the work and that he had come to pick up the horse, thankful his wages had been allowed to go towards it. Mr. Johnson smirked, but he didn't protest. Her name was Dancer, and she became his. He spent hours brushing her, cleaning her ears and feet, working her carefully. The blacksmith suggested grease to keep the mosquitoes from tormenting her ears. One day, riding into town, Connor saw his father leaving the saloon. Wayne didn't see him. Connor tied Dancer and went inside. He didn't drink. He watched. He saw how alcohol changed men, how it made them careless, louder, crueler. He saw a man grab a woman hard enough to knock her off her balance. She fell. Connor stepped between them. "If she were my sister," he said quietly, "we'd go outside." The man backed down. Connor helped the woman to her feet. Later, a rancher who had seen the incident offered him work. Connor joined a crew that spoke of discipline and order. When they planned to beat another cowboy in secret, Connor objected. They beat him instead. Connor didn't run. He didn't tell. He worked. He watched men come and go. He learned cruelty appeared more often than kindness, but kindness existed, brief and quiet. He stayed with the rancher until the old man passed away in his sleep one winter morning. Connor remained long enough to see things set right, then he moved on. One night in town, a newspaper reader announced a notice. A woman seeking word of her son. Connor stood still as names, dates, and places were read aloud. He told himself it meant nothing, but a voice in his mind said otherwise. The next morning, as he set fence posts and drove nails, the questions came. Why had it taken so long? Where had she been? Why hadn't she come back? The final nail sank flush. "Yes," he said aloud, "I'll go." He expected the mother from his dreams. He expected that she would want to return to his father. Instead, he found a woman nearly blind, living quietly with an elderly couple. She was his mother. She had survived. He felt 8 years old again, his arms around her. Her embrace told him what he needed to know. She remembered him. She loved him. The notice had been placed by Mrs. Taylor, the woman who had taken Julie in. Connor met his sister Betsy, nearly 12 and full of life. She sang, she performed, she never stopped talking. Julie didn't ask Connor to rescue her. She asked him to look after Betsy. The elderly couple faced eviction from their son, angry that they had spent their lives buying enslaved people one at a time so they could free them, and leaving him no inheritance. He accused them of being foolish and selfish. One evening after dinner, Connor sat at the table as his son berated them, saying that they must leave so he could rent the house. Connor excused himself. Standing now at 6 feet in height, it took little effort to take the man by the arm and ask for a word. No one saw or heard what happened. No one spoke of it. The next day, the son brought groceries. His lip was slightly swollen. The threats ended. Later, the couple left their home to Connor. It had always been theirs. The son had only felt entitled to it. Connor stayed. With time working on the railroad, he filled out and grew strong. Girls at church smiled at him and sometimes brought cookies. His mother's sight worsened slowly, but her love was enough. Betsy read to her and helped with the house. Connor made repairs. He built furniture in his spare time. He did not speak of Wayne. He learned some things were worth your time and some things were not. At dusk, he listened as Betsy and her mother sang. Dancer grazed nearby. Connor rested his hand on the fence and looked out over the small homestead. This, he thought, was enough. More than enough. That night, Connor sat in the rocking chair by the fire. He fell into a deep, restful sleep.